6 beep beep, the turkeys gobble, the sheep baa baa, and the cows moo moo. You might think it's an awful squabble. Quack quack moo. Beep beep baa.
This is the worst. It's Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci. Billy, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing just all right. You know what we got to do now? We got to add the ding at the end.
You got to add the ding. Add the ding, Billy, add the ding.
So I'm lighting my pipe with an
Are
aiming flame.
Are you there?
Lighter's downstairs.
Make sure you don't light that cover on fire.
Our cover is over there now. I know, I worked too hard. I'm going to finish that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci. It might quite possibly come Wednesday Night Live or just kind of switch
Friday
off
Night
time
Live.
I'm looking at my schedule, all the stuff we got going on, but we're going to launch our Kickstarter next Wednesday. So maybe that should be Wednesday Night Live. Or maybe we do Thursday Night Live after you know what, Scala? I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. So what do you have scheduled for next week?
I love getting nuts. What's up? Huh? What do we got next week?
Yeah.
I have no clue what you said. We don't got anything next week.
Clint Stoker reached out? Bro, we
yeah?
got House Clint Stoker back on.
We haven't had Clint on for how long?
Too long. We got
like 2 years. It's been like 2 years, dude.
Yeah. Well, salute. I'm drinking. Anybody drinking? What's up, everybody?
Drink it up. We got some lovely guests.
Have some Scott. We got some amazing guests. One of them were especially our I guess our main guest, and then we have a special guest star joining.
Ooh.
So we're gonna have like a little table, like I'll be like Johnny, you know, and you'll be Ed. And Immortal 5 has no idea who the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, no.
What's up, Dan? Yeah, I'm smoking a pipe.
Nice. Marcus Kellegrew is eating cottage cheese.
What's up, Marcus? My black Cavendish.
Tasty.
Shit, that costs $30. $22. Anyway, without further ado, Scala.
Yes,
so this is going to be my show.
This is your show, bro.
It's my show. We're Billy Tucci Live. We're just going to hang out. Debbie will come on, join us from time to time. Might be Billy and Debbie Live, but I'm looking at Thursdays. I like the idea of a Thursday Night Live before, say, the Jack Show. Come on, do 45 minutes. Talk about comics. Talk about all the cool shit that we did. Yeah, you go, buddy. Salute. Talk about the things in the world. Learn some stuff today about crowdfunder.
Ooh. Maybe a little video.
I think we're gonna have to show that video.
We should show the video. I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
Oh, okay. We should show that video. But first, let's have the woman of the hour.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite. Again, we won't keep her on too long. I know she's been very busy. She's been drawing all day. But ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado or don't, Renie draws Miss Irene Strychalski. Hey! Oh, what did you do?
Yeah! Hello!
What's up?
What's up, Renie? Where are you? Everybody wants to see you, Renie.
Oh,
everyone loves seeing your smiling eyes.
I'm touching on my eyes, so give me a minute.
I'm surprised Vaughn's not in the chat yet. Renie's on.
Dude, I had to put Vaughn in a timeout.
Yeah, what the hell happened there?
Vaughn is like, everybody type in penis in the chat.
And summon him.
What the fuck? I got to talk about Vaughn and crowdfunder now today.
So you muted him for that?
I muted him. I put him in timeout 5 minutes.
Why? Because he wanted everyone to say penis?
Everybody type in, that? Come on.
What?
You want me to say it so then some idiot screen caps it? Again, I already said.
So you say penis?
Yeah.
Penis.
He's like, everyone type in penis. What kind of a weirdo says that?
Maybe he's got like a fetish.
Kind of a weirdo. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's like a little fetish or something. He wants to hear you say penis over and over again.
It is kind of funny.
That's right, Billy. That's right.
Everyone
He's like
type it in. Why
mic.
not? Everyone type it in.
Type in penis for Vaughn, everyone. Type in penis.
But we have another great guest, Renie. I hope you don't mind. A very handsome man.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
Oh, from down under. One of our favorites, a brilliant creator and a really funny guy. He puts some very thought-provoking tweets out there from time to time. I'm a fan. You're a fan, Scala. I'm sure Renie's a fan. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only.
Adam Lawson's a fan.
Adam Lawson's a huge fan. I got Adam Lawson's new book.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, next to the woman of the hour, Mr. Michael Bancroft. What's up, bro?
I made it. I made it.
We did it, man.
To the mountaintop. I'm here with the fellas.
Yay!
Billy, I wish I smoked a pipe.
I reached out to Mike like 2 months ago. I'm like, dude, you got to come on the show. I love that tweet you made. He made a tweet about something. And that was like Christmas time.
He's
like, when am I coming on? I'm like, yeah, I'll get back to you.
We're both busy people. We're trying to make campaigns, comics, shows. I understand. I know what it's like.
Yeah. What time is it over there by you, buddy?
2:10 in the PM. So
that's
afternoon,
not bad, then, right?
On Friday.
It's already Friday there.
Oh,
yeah.
weird.
Talking to you in the future.
You're
man.
in the future.
Billy, you got to send him an honorary pipe.
The week.
What's that?
You got to send him an honorary pipe.
All the way to Australia. It'll take 4 months to get there.
It'll cost $75. It'll cost double the price of the pipe.
Yeah, you can buy a pipe.
Send it.
But the thought is priceless.
We have pipes here. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not a smoker. I just like the look of it though. The pipe plays.
Well, Renie, let me ask you, how do you feel about a man with a pipe?
It's old timey and classy. Yeah, not a lot of. I had a professor that smoked pipes. He was like a pirate comic guy. He was cool.
He smoked pipes, like plural, many at once. He had
I think he had a he
like
had a
this, right?
pipe collection.
Like
I love pipes.
In the ceiling, like plumbing pipes, like
yes.
Oh, no.
What I meant was my plumbing professor because I'm a plumber.
Yeah. You're gonna get Vaughn sweating now, Billy.
It's an honorable.
Vaughn's gonna go into overload right now. So what happened to Blevin, Scala?
Some meeting with the big newspaper. He's a big newspaper reporter now, Billy. That's what he's doing.
A newspaper man now. Anyway, let's get to again, Renie. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining our little comic that could, our little zombie book that could, Zombie Sama, Dorm of the Dead. And I'm going to share that screen unless my engineer already queued it up. I don't think he did.
What do you mean this?
What?
Do you mean this? Queuing it? I wasn't sure if you had it because it's not in there.
I do have it. I do have it. So I'll cue it. Well, that's the cover. Yes, that's Renie's beautiful cover.
Yay!
You got to show her cover first, man.
Well, I was gonna do the build up to it, but okay. I can see who show this is.
Yeah, thanks for letting me do the cover. I think it's a really cool new take on the zombie idea, and I have read part of the book, I guess, because the section I read wasn't the full book, but it's great. I love it. I really like your main character. He's a tough guy with a samurai sword. I dig it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna find my update and let's see if this is it. Because Renie did this gorgeous black and white piece of artwork. Here's my latest update. And we're like, hey, it's Renie. And look at me with my Prince Charlie jacket, with my kilt and my
nice.
Suave.
Salute. Now I made two of them. One shows the kilt, one doesn't. So
well, it just shows like what's under the kilt.
What's under the kilt? Ask Vaughn Coleman, he'll tell you. Yeah.
I don't know if Renie wants to know what's under the kilt.
No, Renie's our sweet, innocent Renie. Renie doesn't want to know what's under the kilt.
I'm very innocent.
Very innocent. Too innocent. Too innocent for you animals.
Too innocent for this.
But yeah, no. So Renie did this beautiful. Here's a full color version of it, colored by my friend Wesley Hartman, and fantastic colorist. He's done many. We've worked in Wes and I've worked for over a decade for sure on a lot of projects. But what I love, Renie, is this stunning black and white. So that's why we wanted to talk to you about how did you conceive of this? How did you execute it? Are you completely digital? Do you scratch out things on regular paper first, as your thumbnails, etc. And then we'll go into it. We'll start talking about it. But just beautiful job. And what a great honor that you did this cover for us. And
thank you.
It's
an honor to do. Oh,
we just love you
guys too.
So when are you gonna put your face on? Are you almost done? Or not?
I'm almost done. the pressure. Maybe Chad would like to see me doing my lipstick. They probably would.
Bancroft, the floor.
I already
put
my
what
face
you got going on, brother?
Just everything. I'm trying to do everything all at once, and it's difficult. I mean, you probably know this. You already did all this back in the 90s, but now there's YouTube on top of all of everything. Making these shorts. That's an hour a day or whatever. The comic. I'll be launching my follow-up book this year. So the second part, we did the Second Chance campaign at the start of this year. That's being fulfilled. I've got my wife Mel in the house doing that as we speak. This is all happening. I get an hour a day to sort of not do comic stuff these days, and then the rest is sleep, and it's just right back into it the following day. But I'm loving it. It's a lark.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're all at, right, Renie? I mean,
have to be.
Yes, absolutely.
These things don't draw themselves. Yet.
No, exactly. Like we have to draw every single one of those lines.
You didn't have the gray in the beard when you started.
I didn't. I literally didn't. This is new. You can go back and look at I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now. This was not here. This was definitely not here.
Oh yeah, I can't grow that.
Yeah, this is all.
I can't grow anything. I mean, I shaved. I think I shaved yesterday, but I can't really. I get patchy, and I do have some gray. I have some. If I let it grow, and it's nasty looking, I'll have salt and pepper there. But I don't have any gray hair up in my hair yet. I have a little bit. Debbie says a little shock here, but that's about it.
You're the Reed Richards.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be into that.
That would be cool.
Reed Richards.
Oh, you got a full head of hair. Can you grow a mustache?
Not really. I mean, not really. But I think it would look badass. How would I look with a mustache?
Like a handlebar mustache.
You should try.
It would go with the pipe and the whiskey.
It would.
The kilt. And the
it doesn't have to be like a thick mustache. You could do like a thin, like a pencil.
Salvador Dali mustache.
Howard Hughes.
I totally would get an Errol Flynn mustache. Anybody out there drinking?
Errol Flynn, Australian.
My wife's in Arizona with all her high school girlfriends. One of their friends' sons is getting married. The first one that got married, her son's getting married now. So, salute.
Nice. Cheers to Debbie's friend's son.
So
I drink with you, but it's a little early for the day drinking for me just now.
Scala, why aren't you drinking?
I am drinking.
Are you what?
Right here.
Yeah, that's like a tea or coffee.
It's a coffee.
Me too. Tea.
I need it. It's been one of those days, bro.
That's messed up.
It's messed up.
That is messed up. Anyway, guys, I'm going to share my new campaign, our little comic that could. Let me share that screen again. Since Scala didn't want to share the screen, he just wanted to share an image. But
because the cover is awesome.
It is awesome. It is incredible.
It's my favorite cover on the campaign.
Oh,
yes. You know what? A lot of people are saying that. So this is our Zombie Sama. Oh, I have to refresh it. Let's do a little refresh there.
That's right, John.
Boom! Oh, we're almost at $17,000. Thank you guys so much. Again, this is our Zombie Sama. The Zombie Sama Dorm of the Dead is by me and John Brolia, my partner and co-creator. It's 104 pages, full color, just good old zombie goodness. Kill them all. Let the Dean sort them out. The link is in the description. I just put up the rough edition, to the Shi Gatecrasher Ashcan comic, which is our August book, and that book will be done as well by the time I launch it, just like Zombie Sama is. And this shows this character right here, and her name is Gekekto, and she is the original incarnation of Shi. I don't know if I should share that. Should I share my original drawing of her, Scala?
Yeah, sure. It's
Back
cool.
in the day. Renie!
No.
Hey!
She's real.
I'm real. I'm here. I'm not a disembodied voice. Oh.
No, you look great. Come on.
I look frumpled.
No, you look great. Yeah, you're like
Frumpled.
you're like 19
Is that a
years
word?
old.
No, it's not. Well, it is now, as I say so.
So this is our new. We have an ash can available for Shi Gatecrasher, and I'm going to show you guys something cool. I don't know if I've shared this yet on my campaigns, but let me show you. What Renie, you want to see what Shi looked like in 1990? Were you even born? Were you even born in 1990, Renie?
Yeah, but I was very, very little.
3 months old.
I'm not that young.
Let me find my. See, this is why I knew I shouldn't have hopped on with Haberlin, which I
I
love
know.
Brian Haberlin. I just was not going to be able to prepare for my show.
I was surprised you popped on.
Well, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Brian Haberlin's my friend, so I'm gonna have to pop on. It's the right thing to do, Scala.
It is. It's the right.
You know, in the
thing.
meantime,
You're
let's
dedicated.
let's check something out. I don't know for those of you out there, there is a I would like to describe it as a fan movement who have embraced the derogatory term Comicsgate. And Renie, I know we were talking about if you've seen this. Mike, you're can I call you Mike or is it Michael? Just strictly Mike.
Yeah. Mike's fine.
Mike, you're
Mike's
familiar with the term Comicsgate, right? And
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's to the layman out there. It seems to be a fan-driven movement originally. And it's basically what I first learned about it was people publicly saying what all pros seem to be saying, in whispers all around the industry, that there's a lot of jobs going to people just rather who they are or how they identify. And that's great. You can identify however you want, however you believe you are or how you truly are, you feel you are. But that doesn't stop that there are a lot of people that are losing work. It seems for the whole get woke, go broke. Is that a good way to describe it, Bancroft? How would you, in a more eloquent way?
that works for me. We actually just discussed this video. We EFAP'd it on my show just before here, and I said, well, I came into this through Zach, so I'd sort of fallen out of the mainstream by the time CG rolled in. I was in with, and Renie might know about this, more like the indie comic online scene, webtoons and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and that's what I knew, and it was dreadful. It was abysmal. The only way anyone would ever promote themselves was, oh, check out our new comic. It's an all-black team. Or we have 3 lesbians and a non-binary making this comic. And that's all.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I remember I was
like,
trying to put out comics, and I was on, this was back when Tumblr was a thing, and because it was my age group, I was like, oh, I want to be on Tumblr. And then it just slowly devolved into utter insanity, and everything was about being woke. Everything was about what's your sexuality, and it's just like a black created comic or it's an Asian created comic. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I remember. So, you're right.
Yeah. For me, when Comicsgate came around, I was like, can we just all agree that we're not going to play that game? We're going to step aside and just focus on the good stuff and not accept their terms. And because we said no, we're not going to play that game.
Yeah, and I remember my friend Ethan Van Sciver, one of my a person I love and his family I love, and someone that I'd stick by to the very end. I experienced something, and I've said this before on several of the shows, but I recall that after all the work I had been working for DC. After I did Shi for 10 years. You get a little burnt out, you know, doing the same character, self-publishing. As you guys can see, it's a lot of work self-publishing. You are, you know, so Renie, I mean, you understand when the promotional department, the marketing department is working, the art department is not.
Yes.
And you have to find a great way to balance this. I experienced a form of cancel culture back when first time I was made aware of it was by friends. Now, there are a lot of friends that aren't as vocal as us out there. A lot of people in comics who, again, out of fear that they are afraid to voice their opinions about anything, really. You know, there is this woke mob mentality. There is this thing that if you don't listen to us, if you don't follow the things we say, if you have any dissension, or if you digress from digress is the wrong word. If you disagree with someone about a particular point, you don't toe the line. Sounds kind of familiar, right? To some things that happened in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Then you're gone. You will disappear. And that's literally what they try to do. So I remember that after being nominated for an Eisner Award, winning a Military Writers Society of America Award, which is the award for all the big, say, military themed books. It's a national thing. It's like a National Cartoonist Society sort of thing, but for military writers and those that write and produce books on, you know, Tom Clancy, you know, he's a gold medalist, etc. And all the great reviews, all the great success of the books. So a project came up that people were interested, that the writer, a very, very famous writer, was interested, very successful, that wanted me to draw it. And I'm friends with this writer, and I would love to draw it from him. So it was a dude. And he had approached the editor, and he's like, you know, we should get Tucci to do this. Billy should do this. And the guy goes, I'm not freaking hiring Tucci for this. And he's like, why? He goes, the guy's a fucking Republican.
Wow.
That was in 2012.
2012?
Because that was the last time I did anything. Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan DiDio came to me to do a Harley Quinn book in 2016, I think I did. So for 4 years after that, I had nothing from them. So in the past 10 years, all I've done for DC Comics, I think I drew 42 pages of art and I think one cover. And of those 42 pages of art, 12 of those pages of a beautiful story written by another artist, a Wonder Woman story, has still yet to see print.
Damn.
And I dare anybody to find me saying anything disparaging about anyone in comics. So I've never had battles with anyone. I've never had feuds with anyone. I've never had arguments with anyone. I've had to, you know, maybe not threaten, but talk to a few people that there was some things going on. Some guys got a little handsy with some female creators. You know, they've taken liberties and things like that. And, you know, I've had a few discussions with some of them. But aside from that, there is, you know, you can't find me saying anything. So I try to be, you know, I think like I have a disarming personality, if you will. I've tried to have that. Scala, would you say that about me?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Extremely moderate.
Yeah, and again, so this is what shocked me is that this is in 2012 because I voted for Mitt Romney. You know, I did. Looking back, that was the only choice I had.
I wasn't going to say anything, Billy. I'm an Australian, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, so he's a schmuck. You know, he really is. He's a schmuck.
Can I just add to your anecdote there? Von Klaus just the other day let everyone know on Twitter that he had a book that was he had a story that was going to be published by some publisher. I don't know. It was kind of a done deal. They just got back to him just recently and said, sorry, we're not going to publish it. We want to only go for all women teams at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's this is like, that's their definition of diversity and inclusion. No men, you know, it's like, that's not right.
I wish, I'm sorry, Michael. Again, please.
No, go on.
I would like Vaughn to ask him, well, what is a woman?
That's exactly what I wrote.
You should ask them.
Oh, I cut you off at the knees, didn't I, old chum? Sorry. But you know, like when they describe what a woman is.
Yeah, they can't do that either because then they'll. I mean, I have a hard time deciphering, do they do this because they really believe in this insanity? Do they like, what was that absolutely amazing? There was this hearing where I think it was Matt Walsh in this hearing talking about, I forgot some of like the weird gender issues, and some of these people in government, they are clearly, I don't think they believe what they're saying. I don't think they believe that, well, a woman is just whoever thinks they are a woman. They just are afraid of the activists, which probably ties well into our subject later. But I also want to point out that, so I retweeted Vaughn. I was like, he didn't say who the publisher was, but this is obviously exactly what they're claiming to fight against. This is discrimination, unjust discrimination based on immutable characteristics. And they're committing exactly what they're supposedly against. They're committing inequality, they're discriminating, they're being sexist, they're being racist, but because it's in a direction where they agree with, because deep down they think certain groups of people are more deserving than others, or either they really believe that, or they're so afraid of the rabid small amount of activists that'll ruin their company and dox them and harass them, that they're pretending to believe that they're being racist and sexist, and we're not supposed to say it. So I'm just like, we have to say what this is sexism. But another thing is, right after I retweeted that, somebody else I know from the arts, not in comics, but when I first started associating with Comicsgate, I had numerous people privately message me in both indie comics and webtoon comics, and also other people in the mainstream saying, yo, I get it. Like, I understand what's going on. I know CG's not a hate group, but I'm just weak. I can't speak out. But I know you're getting harassed. I just want to let you know it's like everything's okay. And I'm still privately friends with a lot of these people, but I can't speak openly. And just like yesterday, when I retweeted Vaughn, somebody else DM'd me. It was like, I can't say this publicly. My career will be ruined. But I got dropped for an award and for a grant probably because I'm a man, and this happens all the time privately.
Yep, and we have to feel for these people that are, gender fluid, say, because if that it's got to be horrible. Like I'm a man living in a man's body. I can imagine what it must be, what those people must have gone through their whole lives. Say who's a man that he feels that he's living in it, that he's actually a woman living in a man's body, or she's a woman living in a man's body, and you have to feel for these people, but you can't. The pendulum has swung so much so that is a prerequisite now.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the first thing. It's not what you can do, it's who you are or how you identify as, or and that's what's they're hiring people. It's almost like you're hiring people because we need X amount of people to be airline pilots. So we're only going to take, certain, people
that has me so terrified. The FAA has been putting all
lowering
kinds
the standards.
Yeah, how would you like to get on that fucking plane, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's the whole thing where it's really, it started with. I've always thought, I remember. So I didn't grow up in America. When I was like 14 or 15, I came to America for summer camp, and I was like, we had a debate about affirmative action. I just didn't get it. I was like, what do you mean? Aren't you guys about equality? This is affirmative action. This makes no sense. And the Americans are trying to explain it to me, and I would just not get it. Like, it broke my brain. I literally didn't understand it until like I was 21, and I still don't understand it because I think it's fucking stupid. Like, isn't this clearly just discrimination? Yeah. It's so weird. It's just totally absurd. But I actually think that what they're doing is the activists aren't standing up for, say, actual trans people or actual women, because see, if I have politics that they don't agree with, and I'm not even that political, I don't talk politics, but just because I disagree with the woke stuff, I talk about the culture, and I disagree with that, then I'm persona non grata. They're not going to give me work just because I'm an Asian woman who's an immigrant. They don't give a crap about that. The minute you think differently, look at Eric July.
Successful, Renie.
Oh yeah,
that too. But even like a demographic that they claim to super care about, they're such bleeding hearts for the African American community. Look at Eric July. They harass him nonstop, and the things they call them are appalling. They don't care about these people. What they're doing is they're using groups that they can tell them they're victims. They can tell them that, well, we have to fight for them, so give us power. They're using people to gain power and to shame us and say that if you don't agree with our race-based hiring or whatever, then you're racist. But all that we're asking for, and this is why very early on when I was still working for Marvel and I heard about comics, I did my own research. I went on YouTube. It's like there are live streams and videos from like Zach and Ethan. I could just find out if these were actually like these horrible Nazis. And then I saw, no, they're like regular Republicans. They just want merit-based hiring and they want merit, like a meritocracy. I totally agree with that.
But here's another thing. If they want to do that, that's fine. If these corporations want to hire things not on merit necessarily, but if they want to have prerequisites and stuff like that, they want to hire a particular amount of people. If that company is fine, that says, Tavon, I'm sorry, but we only want to hire, women creators. That's fine. But but you can't tell others how to live their lives if I'm not a woman creator. I'm not a woman. I'm not a female. So don't try to cancel me because I'm not that. You know what I mean? Like they've gone so far to the other way. Like, okay, so there was an experiment. It's an amazing thing that I had seen when I was a kid. Not a kid. I had seen afterwards about a school, and they did an experiment, a social experiment in a classroom. And they had, and Niall, maybe if you could cue it up, if you could find it. Sorry, not cue it up because I didn't know we were going to go this way because I just saw the crowdfunder video before we went live. And it's a teacher doing an experiment in class and saying, okay, all the children with brown eyes, right, in the class, very diverse classroom, suburban classroom, go to the right side of the room. Okay, all the kids with light color eyes, blue eyes, blue eyes or green eyes, go to the left side of the room, right? So what they then said, okay, now all the children with brown eyes, you sit in the back of the class. All the kids with the blue eyes and green eyes, you guys sit in the front of the class. Now, all the kids with the blue eyes and the green eyes were given preferential treatment. You know what I mean? As an experiment. So they got to sit at a different table for lunch. They got to get their lunch first. It's a real great social experiment which was going on in this country 70 years ago. That the blacks, in the South, that African Americans weren't allowed to ride on buses. With whites, they had to drink out of different water fountains. There's one of Norman Rockwell's most extraordinary paintings is this painting of this beautiful young black girl walking to school that she wanted to go to a unsegregated school, to a school, an all inclusive of everyone. And there were protests, and this happened in the South. That they would say the N-word and throw tomatoes at them and things like that. And she's flanked by 2 federal agents. She just wants to go to school, this child, right? So that's something that was incredibly unfair, something that was horrible that happened in this country, in certain parts of this country, mind you. And so they did that with this experiment. Okay, and you could see that the kids with the brown eyes were justifiably so very upset with this, right? Because they weren't getting the kids with the blue eyes and green eyes were getting preferential treatment, right? And it proved the point that we should all be together, right? There shouldn't be any preferential treatment between brown eyes and blue eyes. Now, however, though, the pendulum is swung the other way, that if you are the blue eye and the green eyes, because we're going to make you pay for that, now you're sent to the back of the classroom, say. Your characters are going to be swapped, right? For there's not too many redheaded, green-eyed characters in comics or in TV and film. These characters that are famous for being, redheaded, blue eyes, Mary Jane, etc., are now not anymore.
Oh my gosh, the weird race swapping that's happening.
Right.
It's strange.
And statistically speaking, on the grand scheme of the thing in the world, they are among the smallest minority of people.
The rarest human being in the world is red hair, green eyes.
Yeah. And the most people in the world are people with dark hair and dark eyes. They're the vast majority of the population of the world. So does that make it right now? So you proved the point of how wrong this was to do to those people, right? Ginger side, yeah. But now these same people that told you how wrong that was is now doing the complete opposite. Now they're taking those other people and putting them, say, to the back, or canceling them, or not giving them jobs, or trying to erase them, etc. Am I making any sense? Now,
No,
Yeah,
that
no,
makes
you're
complete
right.
sense.
right now,
That makes
and
complete
how
sense.
fair is that? So you've proved the point of something that was a travesty, something that was wrong. And now, though, once you proved it was wrong, now we'll show you. And now we're doing the complete opposite. We're doing what we just told you was wrong.
You're right. I think that most people and most Americans certainly, it's like they want to pretend like we're still living in like 1940. We're not. Most Americans understand like they don't care about race, they don't care about gender. They probably don't even care if you're trans as long as you're not bothering people and all that and about it and yelling about like how to call me by this pronouns or whatever. It's people make mistakes.
Right. Everyone should embrace who they are, and we should accept everyone for who they are. I feel personally.
Most Americans are very open-minded. Like I've traveled a lot. This is one of the most open places I've ever been to. People here are not racist. Like just because there's like 1 in a million person that's an actual racist, that's not. America's very open, and so they live in la la land. But it's strange. They want to treat people like the way you're born determines how you get treated, and that's diametrically opposed to what America is built on. It's just what's going on, and there are so many people that are afraid of standing up to this ideology just because of fear, because of the social stigma, because they'll call you horrible terms that in other parts of the world, in a society, here's the thing, in a society that doesn't care this much about racial equality, calling someone racist wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to terrify people by just calling them racist and saying, oh my God, you're a bigot. You wouldn't get fired for that, because you know what, in Asia, if somebody called your employer was like, this person's racist, they'd be like, yeah, so he's a good employee. They don't care about that in Asia, but in America, because we, as a society, everybody cares about equality and race. Just the smear of that doesn't matter if it's true. You might get fired. Your life will be ruined, and they're weaponizing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Exactly.
Renie?
Yes, that's awesome.
Thank you, Renie. So that's my rant. But let's transition over to what this chap, the president of Crowdfunder, had an interview. Niall, do you want to cue that up? Thank you, Niall. This is with a YouTube thing that came out today that I saw. Chris Braley. He only has 24 subs. Let's sub to Chris out there, because he does tries to create a conversation, and this guy, this chap right here, and it's his right to do so, but I think people should just be made aware of it.
I said this on my show. Like, at least with this company, they're upfront about it. At the very least, they're at least telling you straight up. And he says multiple times, "This is what we're doing. This is what it is." And he, like, I don't think he can justify it. I think you can see that in his body language. But at least he's saying it out loud, so I'll give him that.
Yeah. Hey, Billy, hang on one sec. The
I'm here.
I'm not syncing the audio with this. I'm going to be right back. Hold on.
Oh, okay, Scala. So these are things. I know this is supposed to be, hey, Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci. I want to have fun. I try to be a beacon of positivity, if you will. But then sometimes you just get a little frustrated, and people have to talk about this. Oh, thank you, Renie. we have to have an open discussion and an open dialogue of just what's going on, and let people be made aware of these things so they can make the decisions for their own. But I just find it really frustrating, really infuriating, especially that we deal in the arts, Renie, because whatever happened to, say, the Rebels, right? Isn't that what art's all about? Was to challenge people and to make people think, provoke people. Andy Warhol sold paintings in the hundreds of thousands in the 50s by taking newspaper images of car crashes of teenagers lying there, blood-soaked teenagers spilled out of a car that wrecked out, and painted it large, basically did a photo stat of it. People know what that word is now. And just reprinted a newspaper article, and people bought that painting for it's hanging. There's one of them hanging in the Museum of Modern Art.
He'd get canceled. He wouldn't be able to crowdfund that on Crowdfunder, that's for sure.
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Are we ready, Niall?
So
to show this?
offended.
Yeah, you want to start from the beginning, or is there a good point to start at? You played this, right, Bancroft?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike. Should we go near the end of it? I guess going to the end.
It's actually pretty good the whole way through. There's only a slight section where they kind of get into the weeds, but it's actually this sort of like it starts with a very brief hello, how you going? But
And I'd like to hear what the chat has to say about it as well, because I embrace varying points of view and stuff like that, and I'd love to hear if anyone out there has something to say about it as well. So.
I like what John says. Art speak of languages cannot be silenced. Sorry, I want to shout that out. That was good.
Want to roll it, Scala?
I guess I can start. I did talk to
Can you make it louder?
To our leadership, and the position was that we while we recognize that you can't lump everybody that belongs to a certain group together as all being the same people. Unfortunately,
pause it real quick. To be part of a secret of a group, how come we don't have like membership cards or anything to this group? Should we have that? Like if we're part of a club or something, or of a movie?
That would probably just.
I want something.
Probably,
challenge coins.
Well, you can get hats now if you want. I mean,
members only cards
and the things, but like I think if you were to create like a members card, that would probably
a fez
inflame the situation.
You know what's strange? It seems like it's not even like a bunch of people came together and said, well, we're going to form a group called ComicsGate. It was sort of of course, the whole drama with your boy Zach and Ethan early on, and then people started calling it ComicsGate. And if you said anything that sounded just like them, even if you weren't like on their channels, they would say, oh, careful what you're saying. This happened to people in the mainstream. You're sounding like your ComicsGate. Be careful. We're going to cancel you. You might want to delete that tweet. So they kind of forced people who just didn't want to stay quiet about their opinions to band together and form a movement. But apparently we're the bad guys. We're some extremist group. Sorry that we just don't agree with the extremists in comics.
Yeah. Well, let's play it. Let's play it loud and proud, Scala.
And if people are gonna declare themselves as part of ComicsGate, we can't change ComicsGate's reputation, even though we know that there are bad elements there, just like there are bad elements everywhere. The general perception of ComicsGate is problematic for us, and that's kind of where we have to leave it.
Perception.
So I was wondering if you talked to Mike.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we matter of fact, he appeared on the Andrew Clavin podcast just a few days ago. I think it was on Friday, and I was very encouraged, thinking that you seemed like a reasonable fellow and we would be let back on. But it sounds like anyone that associates with ComicsGate is not going to be allowed on Crowdfunder. Am I hearing you properly?
You are, and I would wish there was something that could change about this. And the challenge is that anything that has a gate at the end of it does not make itself sound like it is a positive thing. It's not. Watergate wasn't a positive thing. I can't remember what the Clinton thing was called. That was
Watergate.
And so I understand the notion of embracing a derogatory term that somebody uses for you in order to empower yourself. But it just, so.
He's having trouble getting through this.
He is. And I don't have the research on
what
it,
a shitty business,
I don't know
man.
Why where the word ComicsGate came from and why the group decided to rally around that as a name for people who are interested in creating comics that where the stories are the primary focus, and that there should not be these elements of wokeism introduced just for the sake of being woke.
Wait, so he totally understands.
Yes,
He
gets it.
This is his second conversation with Chris.
Let's make great comics that are great stories, and not adopt a name that people were using as a derogatory. I think is a derogatory term for. I think the ComicsGate came up as a derogatory term for people that are that hate, gay people or people that are racist or whatever. Like nobody comes up with a gate name to compliment somebody, right? So I don't know.
The people that came up with it originally are lunatics. And then guys like me.
Sounds like
freeze it. I'm sorry if you want to pause it.
I'm pretty sure I made a compelling argument last.
What's that?
I'm sorry, but he's saying things like Comicsgate. So the thing that people started being called Comicsgate after the Gamergate.
Yeah.
It's the
same
saga.
thing. Gamergate people call themselves Gamergate.
Yeah, and I was talking to Ethan, and Ethan wanted to embrace this. Let's embrace and show how ridiculous this is, and get to the root of those that actually are the ones that are accusing people of of crimes. Really, that's what they're doing. Hate speech in a hate group is it's a crime.
Well, they have doxed and harassed people, and this happened to specifically your boy Zach, and they went after his family too, while justifying their actions by saying, well, he said things we don't agree with, and he's a racist, which he's objectively not. So they will say that, well, it's okay for us to treat you horribly and ruin your reputation and call you all sorts of names just because, well, we're going to read between the lines and assume that you're a racist, and then everyone's terrified of this. Because here's the thing, these people, the woke people in these companies, have all the power. Yeah. And they're acting like they're victims, but they're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they're a struggling platform too. And on a business end of things, this is like the worst fucking decision they can make. Like, you are a platform. All these crowdfunding sites and everything, you are a platform. That's what you are. You are paid by the creators through their percentages given to you to host a book so they can sell it. And if someone doesn't want the book, they don't have to back the book. Like, it's ridiculous what they're doing on a business end. It makes no sense. Like, get your own personal beliefs out of the mix. You are a business. You are a platform. That's all you are. You're not a voice. And what they're doing is they're trying to give this voice like, well, we're not going to have this, we're not going to have that. And now what he's saying too is, you don't know the personal beliefs of anyone that may, just because someone associates with people that are in Comicsgate, you don't know what their personal beliefs are. You don't even know if the person's gay for all you know. You have no clue. And just to go and now just take everyone and funnel them into one thing, which is what's been done, it's just, it's asinine. Everyone deserves a fucking audience, right? If you want to have woke books, but then you don't have to have woke books either. The problem is the non-woke books are going to outsell the woke books. It's just they know it's going to happen. It's going to kill their movement.
It's a terrible business idea. Look at how much money Comicsgate raises, and I mean, sorry. I want to make a point real quick that I think it's pretty obvious that I appreciate it. I think he's a bit of a coward, but I appreciate that he's at least honest. But he seems to understand that Comicsgate is not actually a hate group, and he clearly knows that. But I think what's happening here is he's afraid of the activists, and that's what he's trying to not say, because he's like, well, I can't say this and make them look like the bad guys because he's terrified of them. That's what's really going on here. But this is not a business-based decision. A lot of these businesses that say, well, this doesn't align with our platform, MFR, your only moral alignment is the bottom line. That's how businesses run. You don't care about the morality. You're just afraid of all these activists coming after your families. That's what's happening.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're going to say Bancroft?
He said people who associate with Comicsgate. That's pretty much everyone. Like, there are some diehards who have no connection whatsoever, but they throw a thing out there into the greater comic sphere, you're going to find someone who's associated in some way, whether it's an artist or in some way. So it's like, how would you ever enforce this? How would you ever judge this? There's going to be, in this book, now there's no one associated with Comicsgate on the book, but the colorist, he has been on a stream, and on that stream there was another guy. Now they're not friends, but they were there together on the same stream. I've got the screen grabs. Now that guy does associate with comics. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Right. And who's the one that's actually doing the judging here? Who are these people that are judging it?
The activists.
Right. I mean, but you don't know their names. You don't know their faces. This guy, again, as you say, Renie, you can disagree with him. Well, that sucks. But at least, and again, you can see how uncomfortable he is. And again, props to Chris here to that that he's actually bringing this forward, which is pretty fantastic. And that this man, though, was saying, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I say that it's not, but it's not a hate group. It's not, they're not homophobes or racist, et cetera, but we're afraid of the people that say they may be. And it's almost like the old rule when they had the Red Scare, and you would have the FBI and stuff like that and say, you're a communist. Like, no, I'm not. Like, yes, you are. I just call it. I'm like, you know how I know you're a communist? And like, how? Like, because I just said you are.
It's
That's
absurd.
exactly what he's putting forward here. And like he actually he's actually conceding that power. And Chris calls him out on it, and he's like, well, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Man, I just wish some people would grow a pair of balls, because this is so easy to counter. It's so easy to counter, because it's not even like communist China where it was the government doing it and they would disappear you and literally send you to camps and stuff. Like, at least we're not there yet, the heaven forbid.
Yeah, but they want to banish you to creative, and
Right.
Siberia.
It's the same thing, but it's happening in a digital space. But the thing is, because it's happening in digital space and it's information warfare, it's really easy to counter. You just have to say no. Just say, all you had to say in answer was, well, we're a platform. We don't care about anybody's politics. And maybe you'll get some crazy people bombarding you if you have like Ethan going on your platform and raising a campaign, but it will pass, because you know what? You'll be making the money and you'll be laughing all the way to the bank, and you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say you support Comics Day. You don't have to say you're against them. You don't have to say anything. Just say, we are a platform. We don't care about anybody's politics. We're running a business.
Right.
Yeah.
That David guy actually says that at one point. He says, I wish there was something we could do about this, but I can't.
Oh my God.
You are doing something about it.
Yeah, he is. He's banishing creators. So now what are they going to do? Background checks on everyone now that submits a book to see where they align? It's crazy.
Absurd.
And we got a couple super chats here.
Yes.
H is for Heretic. Thanks for the $5 super chat. That's not cheap. Crowdfunding looks like Crowdfundy looks like he should be hosting a SHRM webinar. Ring that bell, Billy.
Ha ha.
Alex VRB, $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. I didn't choose the CG life. The CG life chose me.
No, there you go. And if I can, Scala, I'm going to, let's watch this, and then we're going to, because there is an answer to this.
Yes,
and if you want to let's finish this out.
Are we creating the answer, Billy?
No, let's have Chris have his say with this chap from Crowdfunder. And again, props to the chap for actually being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's getting a lot of shit right now from friends and colleagues and other creative people and stuff like that. But let's finish this out.
And so you've taken what I told you last time and went to the board, and you guys have decided that despite my argument and despite not having any evidence that Mike Barron has ever disparaged anyone based on their gender or sexual preference or faith or political disposition, that because he associates with this broad label of Comicsgate, then that is just something that you don't want on Crowdfunder. And so anyone, I presume anyone that associates with Comicsgate is not welcome on Crowdfunder. Is that? I just want to make sure I understand, because
you are. Yes, you are hearing me correctly. Do you understand correctly? Okay. Yes.
And I take it that includes.
What I'm saying is that I don't understand, and it's not for me to understand, right? Like it's not up to me, but I don't understand. If Comicsgate is the result of a criticism, the name Comicsgate is a result of a criticism that people had saying these particular creators are a non-inclusive group. When in reality, what you were saying is that the majority of Comicsgate creators are inclusive. And that there are bad apples in there. I don't understand why Comicsgate doesn't come out and say, we don't want that name. That's not who we are. We want to organize under, open comics. And we want to say our philosophy is as follows. We believe that these are the things that comics should be versus, you know, these are the things that we believe comics shouldn't be. Or
Ethan has laid out exactly what he thinks Comicsgate is about many times.
Yeah. Pause it, Niall, please.
Not the name.
Please.
First of all, changing the name would be giving into the activists. So that's why we're not doing it. Second of all, Ethan and many others have laid out exactly what they think Comicsgate is. Again, it's just not some organization with a top-down management. So everybody's division definitions might be a little different. But in general, it's just, we don't care what color you are, blah, blah. Just make good comics. We're for meritocracy. And we don't like the political discrimination against conservatives. That's the only thing that unites pretty much everybody in Comicsgate. It's very clear, sir.
Right. And the thing is that, but how many times do you have to say it? That we don't believe in that we are all inclusive. We don't care who buys our books. We don't care who publishes their own books. We don't care what you want to do. We say this every day on Ethan's streams, on Shane's, on, you know, Eric July doing on his YouTube stuff, with Young Ripper, with shit here on the PopXP. You know, on the Baller Squad, I mean, how many times you have to say it, but they still don't care. What he just said, people say that. He's completely wrong, 100%. And it's so infuriating because someone like me, that I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States and to protect my citizens from enemies both foreign and domestic. And there is a very vocal, very minute minority in this country that are enemies of this country. I feel personally, and they don't give a shit, and they are outwardly, and they know, and they say it, that they are, you know, enemies, foreign and domestic. There are a lot of domestic enemies. I don't want to call them terrorists, or maybe they could be cyber terrorists or whatever, try to cancel you and stuff like that. But these are evil friggin' people. And another thing is that they came to me when with my books and like, Billy, I am so upset. I can't believe you're friends with Ethan. I can't support you anymore. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. What did you on our first Zombie Sama campaign? Because this is when it happened, or after She Return of the Warrior. Now, this is our 11th crowdfunding campaign in the past 3 years that we've launched. And I said to them, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I understand if that's how you feel. What books did you buy? And I will refund your money. And not one of them ever got back to me because they never bought my books in the first place.
Absolutely. Same thing happened to me.
Yeah, in the first, right? They never supported. Look at, they went after you, Renie, to go after a woman who's an immigrant, right? That you're a person of color or a minority, whatever the fuck the flavor of the month is to call you. And how dare they go after you? Where were you? You went through hell of them publicly shaming you, trying to shame you. And look how you rose above that. Renie rides above.
Yay!
Hashtag
Renie rising. I like that. Hashtag Renie rising.
Well, that's the thing with these activists. A lot of these activists, they have power in numbers, but they're actually cowards. So if you just ignore them, I know what it's like to get dogpiled by them. It's scary. Yeah. But really, the thing that made me not afraid to speak out anymore was, well, first of all, it was injustice. And I like the amount of people I knew who, because I didn't just come out one day and say, well, I'm Comicsgate. I kind of was just like, well, I'm just going to go where people are promoting my book because Marvel wasn't giving me work anymore. And I was like, I want to do my own thing. And it turns the only people who stepped up and were like, please, we want to promote you. Oh my God, we love your book. Was all Comicsgate. So I'm like, I'm going to go where the fans are. And it's the fans. It wasn't like Ethan recruited me or something. I just went where the fans and the fun was and where I felt like there was passion for comics. And then a whole year and some change later, all these people from, like, it was when I closed out on Ethan's channel, they all lost their shit. And then there are people who were at Marvel saying, well, how could you do this? I'm so disappointed. And my response was, where were you? None of them backed my book. There was one person who did back my book, and we had a nice dialogue. We disagreed. I refunded. He wanted a refund, but he wasn't one of the people that were the people who are publicly coming after you. And I hope that guy changes his mind because I have nothing against him. I think he's been misled. He's been told that this is a hate group. It's not. And the people who are publicly trying to cancel me, who were DMing my followers, telling my followers that I was a bigot and that they should rethink associating with me. All those people never backed me, never supported me. So where were you? Why should I give a shit about your opinion? You have no power over me unless they like you. I let them. And
I love that. Why should I give a shit about you? Well done.
This gentleman should think the same way, because really, it'll pass. You can handle it.
Yeah, and it is a conversation. We got a super chat from Michael. Thank you, Michael. If I could share that, please. Thank you. Here. $5. That ain't cheap. Just thanks for hosting this discussion, Billy. It's important, and you're right. It is important, and there are much smarter people than me that I hope will share this conversation, and which would far greater reach than us. This is my, like I said, this is Billy. Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci, with Niall Scala, Renie Strychalski, the great Michael Bancroft from Down Under.
Down Under.
Did I say that? Down Under?
Yep.
I put another shrimp on the barbie, eh?
I was just saying on my show to do this, like, I'll change the name. Like, before it was called Comicsgate, everyone was rallying around a channel called Diversity and Comics. I mean, you couldn't get more safe in terms of a name of a channel. It's got nothing to do with the name. It's all about they're going to smear the group, the movement, the ideas, whatever. It doesn't matter what we call us. And if you were to change the name, you're exactly right, Renie. You're just giving them what they want. It's sort of like divide and conquer tactics. Putting people into smaller and smaller camps so that they're easy to just swipe away.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Now, Renie, I got to ask you something, Renie, real quick.
Yeah.
Listen to Mr. Bancroft. How sexy is that?
That
accent, my goodness.
I think you're speaking for yourself. I mean,
Thank you. Hang on. Yes, I am.
Bancroft's a married man, and I'm very respectful of that.
Yes. No, I'm sorry, Michael, but I just get lost in your words. I got to tell you. And, so next time I see you, Michael, if you want to, you can just do this to me. Oh. All right.
Well, if you're going to Tampa, then I might see you there.
Yeah, Tampa, I think they say it's at the end. Well, San Diego Comic-Con is the month before, so we'll be at San Diego. And then that weekend is my son William's 21st birthday. So I know he's not watching, so we're going to have a big surprise party for him because he lost his graduation from college for welding school. He went to school for welding. He's a fully certified welder. We couldn't have his graduation from that because of COVID, because of the lockdowns in my piece of shit of a state. And same thing with his high school graduation party. We couldn't have it. So we're going to have a little celebration for my son for turning 21, and he can have his first drink.
Yay!
So we're going to be there for that.
Nice.
The duck stick. Where is this? Is the duck stick?
I wasn't.
Do you have the duck stick?
I'm sure he's around here. So, unless Debbie took him.
I wasn't able to celebrate my 40th or 41st. We said when I turned 40, we're like, well, I guess we'll just have to do the party next year. We were still in lockdown a year later.
Oh, jeez. And your country, my goodness, what they've done to you guys. But anyway, so let's finish this. I'm sorry. Scal, you want to go ahead and let's listen to Chris and the chat.
In Comicsgate is going to change how they present themselves. That would be like saying, well, right-wingers are racist bigots. Well, does that mean that all right-wingers must come out and say, well, I'm not right-winger, here's just what I believe, or I'm not a patriot, here's just what I believe? I mean, you can't let your critics define who you are and how you present yourself. And you certainly can't respond to all of your critics. I mean, is Mike Barron supposed to show his marriage license and a photo of his wife anytime someone calls him a racist? Of course not. I mean, he's not going to address that. But if he wants to lean into it and say, look, these guys called me racist, you guys know I'm not, back this book. Hitching the plow to the outrage isn't necessarily letting the enemies define you. It's just basically saying, you people were not going to buy this book in the first place. You're trying to make a stink about it, and we refuse to bend that knee. But it sounds like you guys are bending the knee. You don't have a clear definition of what Comicsgate is, and so you've taken the side that has determined that it's a bad label. You don't want to be Comicsgate. So if people think that you don't want to be Comicsgate, then we don't want those sorts of people.
It's a man that's thinking hard
on
right
the
now.
platform.
Yeah.
So what platforms does that include, David?
I could hear something shriveling from over here.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
What platforms does that include? So are you?
No, I mean crowdfunder and what else? Fundraiser. What are the platforms under your purview?
What's his? I can subscribe to him. What's his channel?
We have
Great.
crowdfunder
That's Chris
companies.
Brayley. He's the editor at Bleeding Fool.
What's that third one?
And
Can we pause this real quick?
called Coco Pay. It's on the.
Everyone, please, let's all follow Chris Brayley.
Yeah, I didn't know he had a channel.
Unless he just launched this.
I think he just. Yeah, I don't think you can see like the video is actually unlisted. He doesn't put these up for like mass distribution. It's more just.
Well, it was sent to me by a secret source.
But he's he's fine.
I
think he's fine with it. Like the guy even says, this is my statement. I think it's fine that it's out there. But I don't think Chris. What I'm saying is, I don't think Chris is trying to build a YouTube channel or anything. He's got his website he's working on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's been very good to us too. So I'm sorry, Scala.
Oh, I know you're apologizing to me. You want me to play it?
I interjected. Sorry.
Connection Point website. If you look at Connection Point, that's our company.
All right.
We have our platforms.
Well, if you guys aren't interested in associating with us, and I've already made my plea to you, then we will not be interested in associating with you. And I know you won't mind me making sure that Comicsgate and anyone related to or following Comicsgate knows that they are not welcome on Crowdfunder, Fundraiser, or Coco Pay or anything under your platform.
So, of course, you say you can say whatever you want to say so I'm not going to stop you.
Of course you wouldn't. I mean, that's how you feel. Yeah. Okay.
And I got to be honest with you. So we have no stake in any sort of political anything, right? Like that's not the nature of our company. We have a lot of conservative globally, not just I'm not talking about American, because we're a Canadian company, and we have people globally. We have a lot of conservative and progressive and liberal and like all kinds from all over the world. What we don't have is sanctioned companies, like sanctioned countries. We don't have anything from Iran. We don't have anything from Syria, etc. But we have from all walks of life, from all over the world on our platforms, and we are not interested in being an arbiter of political views. That's not what we do, right? And
except when we do it,
quite a few
exactly
conservative campaigns that are on our platforms. So
are you vetting who all of those people associate with?
I like Chris.
Yeah, Chris is brilliant.
That we hear that they are doing something that is in general in violation of our terms, or more specifically, like in this case, promoting a non-inclusive agenda. That when we are notified of that, then yeah, we will have to exclude them. But
David,
we don't go through and vet everybody in advance. We don't do that.
And you weren't told. We didn't get suspended for Comicsgate. We got suspended specifically. What Shannon told me was it was brought to our attention that this campaign is not aligned with community standards. Campaigns must align with the terms of service as well as the TOS of our payment providers, Stripe and PayPal. You can read ours here. Nothing in your terms of services or PayPal's or Stripe say anything about Comicsgate. And then she said specifically, we're looking at.
I'm not going to list. Yeah. So
specifically, we're looking at prohibited activities. Without limiting to the foregoing, you agree not to use the services to raise funds or establish or contribute to any campaign with the implicit or explicit purpose of involving campaigns we deem to be in support of or for the legal defense of alleged crimes associated with hate, violence, harassment, bullying, discrimination, terrorism, or intolerance, or any kind relating to race, ethnicity, national origin, religious affiliation, sexual orientation, sex, gender, or gender identity, or serious disabilities or diseases. Nowhere on the campaign does it say Comicsgate, and nowhere on the campaign communications do we mention Comicsgate. Mike doesn't even mention how he votes, and he certainly doesn't express any form of terrorism, discrimination, harassment, bullying, violence. And I asked you to look for any examples of Mike Barron doing that. So what you've decided is, because he associates with people that far left progressives believe or have labeled a hate group because they have criticized certain aspects of the comic book industry that they disagree with, that is your decision. That because these people are not liked by these progressives and are fall under the banner of Comicsgate, whether or not they mention Comicsgate on their campaign, they're out. And David, I'm not even interested in remedying this with you. I mean, at this point, if that's your decision, that's your decision. I just want to be absolutely clear.
Yes, you are clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, David, I don't think we really have anything further to say, do we? Unless there's something else you wanted to add. There's no sense in us wasting one another's time.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
Here, Mr. Braley.
Damn.
Wow. Holy
Yeah.
shit. School.
Yeah.
I mean,
He just went right in. Go, Chris.
Chris, you are a rock star, and I have to apologize if Chris
awesome.
ever watches this show. I apologize. I didn't know you were Chris of Bleeding Fool. I apologize. So because
we checked out this site when Mike first put it up there and read through their code of ethics, and they've since updated them after making this decision. So where previously it said we are inclusive of all kinds of, all the normal things plus anything that you identify with. They've since added, however, if you are associated with a group that has an anti-inclusivity agenda or something like that, then yeah, you won't be allowed to. And that has to be specifically about Comicsgate, because that wasn't there previously.
So woke people wouldn't be on their platform because they're the ones who are anti-inclusivity.
Right.
Not
That's
us.
the question, doesn't it? Yeah.
Very
Well, I mean,
weird.
it's completely hypocritical from one line to the next. And the one before says we're inclusive to everyone who identifies as like what you self-identify as. The next line says, however, you identify as a certain group, you're out.
That may question how I don't know, because I still this reminds me of the people that have never had children, and they're the ones that tell us who do have children what our kids should be learning in school,
or how to raise your children,
right? Or how to raise our children who've never had, or and no offense, Renie, please don't take this the wrong way, but as someone who is a woman telling us how a man should behave, telling us what a man should be and what a man should do. Because I'll never tell a woman what she should do or what she should wear or how she should act. But you have these women writing books and telling us how men should act. So I think the bottom line to get to this point here is I'm going to share something that J. Michael Straczynski wrote with incredible art by Ron Garney and Scott Hanna. And if I can, I'm going to share this right now. And I think it's time for this. It's time, like you remember from Hellboy that there are things that go bump in the night, and we are the ones that bump back. I think that this is the time. This is what we're at, because if you guys remember this Captain America quote, and again, a lot of this went for anti-Trump stuff, but it's never spoke truer than today. That here you have Captain America by Ron Garney speaking words by J. Michael Straczynski, and Cap wrote, "It doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something is wrong, is something right. This nation was founded upon one principle above all else, the requirements that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tells you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move." And that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. You fucking move. I ain't moving. I ain't apologizing. I ain't moving. You have a bunch of lunatics that have escaped the asylum, and that are out there every day tweeting thousands of times a day, hundreds of individually, dozens of times a day, and spreading this insanity. And the thing I'd like to see is, my God, Mr. Bancroft, how many tweets would be out there if you think it costs $1 a tweet for these people to actually pay to tweet? How many tweets would be out? Because they don't have money. They don't buy comics. It's unbelievable. Be like Captain America.
That's right. Be like Captain America.
You brought something up there. That's why that's great writing, because you're right. They did try and use that against conservatives.
Right.
Recently. But that just shows that that's great writing, because it speaks to values. It's not partisan. It's like, let's get down to the core, what this is really all about. And it explains the situation that we're currently going through in clown world perfectly.
And thank you, Mr. Taylor, for that wonderful super chat up in Canada. I'm a huge hockey fan, so I have a lot of friends in Canada, guys I played hockey with, that we talk, and they're saying the same things you say all the time. They're just with Trudeau, and I don't care how you vote, but he's just out of his mind. But Mr. Taylor says this guy is afraid of the screechers and is not supporting the creatives on his platform. He's cutting his own business off at the knees by shutting out at least half of his potential customer base. And mind you, the half that actually buys and spends money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, Sue. You're right.
I have never seen a movement or
let my dog in.
a fandom that is this passionate about comics. And I've said this so many times on my channel. I have been looking for a group of creators and readers like what we have in Comics Game for years. And like I've already told you guys, it wasn't like I was invited by Ethan. He's been wonderful. He did have me on his channel. We stream all the time now, and I appreciate it. But when at the beginning, it was just, I want to go where the passion is. And when I was working in Marvel, the atmosphere was like everybody was terrified. And you know exactly who they were terrified of. Nobody was having fun. It was just a job. We didn't talk about our personal lives, or at least for anybody who even slightly disagreed, you couldn't speak openly. You had to say the expected things, and it wasn't just being professional. It was, you had to have the right politics. And just, it's so freeing here. I know I don't have to agree completely with everybody. I just have to care about truth, justice, the American way. I just have to care about anti-censorship. I want to make good comics. That's all that matters. And the fans are so freaking passionate here. And I have never seen this anywhere else. So what that guy, I don't even know his name. His name don't matter. It's what he's doing. He's turning away this incredibly passionate fan base and this promotional machine that we have here that cares about comics like nothing else in the current industry. So he's sabotaging his own business that he has a responsibility to run because he's scared of some blue-haired crazy people on Twitter. Are they paying your rent? Why are you scared of them? They're fucking idiots.
It's even worse than that, Renie, because we're 5 years into this now. Like people working and selling and networking, and anyone, and you know this, and Niall, you know this, Billy, and we all know this. We've been on these streams interacting and collaborating with all kinds of different people, and we don't say, wait, I will not talk to you if you're not Comicsgate. No, we interact with all kinds of different people. We're all associated, and that's what he said, associated. So there, it's not half of it's almost everyone. It's almost everyone who's working in independent comics. He's like, no, out, because he said if you're associated with CG, well, that's pretty much everyone.
Like, what does that mean? Does that mean my friends were still working at Marvel and Indie Comics?
Yes, they follow you on Twitter.
They're going to, even if I know they don't agree with my politics, they probably don't agree with the CG stuff, but they're just the actual tolerant people they're like this class, like old school liberals. They just are like, we can still be friends. Are those people going to be banned from your platform just because I'm Facebook friends with them? Is it how you're going to work out? If Ethan comments on a thread and that he has a debate with somebody, are you going to reframe that you associate with Ethan, so we're going to cancel you from our platform? It's absurd.
Yeah. There was a photo, I can't remember who it was, but someone got like snapped on a photo standing next to a crosswalk, waiting for the little green man. They got photographed next to someone who was bad, and then they tried to cancel him over that. like that association. So just standing on a street and just coincidentally being next to someone, like, yes, they will go after any, like if you follow Renie, if you've liked a Renie tweet, yeah, you have associated with Comicsgate, therefore you cannot any longer be associated in any way with any of these, because it's not just crowdfunder, there's other ones as well, like GoFundMe type ones and everything too. So good luck crowdfunder.
Yeah.
This is absurd. Like you cannot keep on letting this go. This is not going to get better if people don't grow some balls and just stop giving a shit. Because if we keep on letting this go, in 10 years' time, we might not have the freedom to just not give a shit. These people might actually be in power, and we might be facing a much worse situation. So
they're in power now. They're in power now. That's how they're making.
They are, but we can still actually just fucking ignore them, and they have no control over us, and we can still fight back. So if you're like, if most of our audience is American, and if guys like that publish your guy, if you care about what this country stands for, if you have principles, then it's so easy to just say no. Do it while you still can.
Here.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, do you ever try to talk to your friends that are not in comics about this shit that's going on? And they're like, what? And you show them. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, no, dude, like, get the fuck out of here.
You're like, is it high school?
Yeah, no, this is even worse. I tried to explain to my mother, who is Taiwanese, still lives in Taiwan, doesn't speak a word of English, and I've been trying to explain to her, and I didn't know how to phrase this, because how do I explain woke culture? It makes no sense, because she's like, the normal Taiwanese person from Asia, and Asian people they don't give any of a crap about this. Look at Japan. But, they don't care about the woke stuff. They're not falling for it. But I've just been telling her, oh, yeah, there's some friction between the indies and the mainstream. And I've been explaining it like this for the longest time. But the other day, I was finally like, so, Mom, there's a bunch of like weird stuff going on in America. And I sent her screenshots of like all the weird, basically I just sent her lists of TikToks, entire feed, and a bunch of other weird stuff, like they're censoring Roald Dahl, and they're like going back and censoring Tolkien and stuff, and like she was in disbelief. She was like, how this is twisted thinking, and why are people putting up with this? So normal people, the vast majority of sane humans, understand that this is bullshit. So why are you letting them control your thought and control your speech when everybody knows it's bullshit?
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. My goodness. Well, Renie, I'm glad I came on.
Renie's on fire, man. Renie's on fire.
I know. I'm glad I came on to ask you for you to talk about your cover you did for me.
That cover. We really talked about the cover.
I was just so pissed off when I saw this, and I'm like, I just gotta talk about this. I try to be real cool, I try to be chill. But it's just when there's things like this that happens that they are they're actively trying to ruin people's lives without any base of fact or not just facts, but there's no basis of facts behind it at all whatsoever. There's no real reason for it. And that man admitted to it.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
He said, oh yeah, you have had it explained to me. He understood. But the reputation and that's cowardice. That's like, you got to grow a spine, man. Like, you can't operate your business like that. If you know, and you still, because otherwise you're just a hypocrite. And it's again, like, how is this even going to function? How is this going to work?
Yeah.
At PopXP Network, Crowdfunder has a comic called Boy Butts on it.
Knock yourself out. Good for you. Boy butts.
Boy butts.
That's another thing I said at the end of my stream. It's like, look, we know where inclusivity has led. Like, you just go onto Libs of TikTok or anything and watch all ages drag shows and drag reading school hour, whatever it is. Pick your poison. We know what they call inclusivity. If that's your inclusivity, this anti-white, anti-male, now anti-woman, anti-Western civilization hate, then you can take your inclusivity and shove it where the sun don't shine. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm happy then to not be included in that definition of inclusivity. I'll take
Right.
the original definition. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that this man admitting to Chris, and again, thank you so much, Chris Braley, for bringing this to our attention, whether you
Yes.
liked it or not. I think that we are, if this is not it, I think we are fastly approaching the high water mark of this woke disaster.
I think the pendulum has started to swing. It's going to take a long time because these things take so long to, like businesses don't move that quickly, and especially if you're talking movies and projects, like they were already planned years before.
Yeah.
But the reaction is starting to hit now, and I'm doing these shorts every day, and I'm not like all this stuff is like it's tanking. Like people have had enough.
Yeah,
the audience.
It's the kids.
They're going to go out of
They're
business.
noticing they're coming after kids, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, mate. No.
We don't have to
this
be
is beyond
tolerant or inclusive of it when you're coming after kids.
Yeah.
I got people arguing in my comment section that no, that's totally fine. I'm like, you are a lunatic. Like you are in a cult if you think that this is fine.
Yeah,
you're in a cult.
Insane. I don't know, 2-3. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I think maybe 2-3 years that.
Maybe 5 even. I don't know.
Anywho, guys, we've been rocking and rolling. I have to pimp my I was gonna say pimp my Renie. Sorry.
Pimp it. Pimp Renie. You're a pimp.
We have a campaign right now.
We should talk about the cover, maybe.
Love you, Renie. Love
it's
you.
Okay.
We have our little comic that could campaign live right now. Zombie Sama Dorm of the Dead. Let me refresh. I don't know if anyone's backed it or anything like that. So, okay. Hey, 17,000. Nice. We just launched it. It's a great campaign. We have Miss Irene Strychalski, who just is that how I say it? Strychalski?
That's about right.
No.
My family says it 3 different ways. I say Strychalski. My aunt says
Strychalski. Okay, yeah. I went to high school with Vinny Strychalski, but he was Strychalski. You're Strychalski.
Oh, that's the actual Polish pronunciation.
Yeah, he was the valedictorian, actually.
Cool.
Anyway, so Renie did this amazing limited edition variant cover for us. Beautiful work, colored by Wes Hartman. But Renie, my God, I love it. I know you were talking about the hard-boiled cover inspired you, the Jeff Darrow. But you are, first of all, I would not fuck with you. Because I asked you to do a cover, right? Like, because I just love Renie's art. I'm like, Renie, would you do a cover? Like, yeah, sure. And this is the rough she sent me. I think this is the first rough, and it's Jim slashing this zombie's top of his head off from. I don't know. I can't even say it's from the zombie's point of view because his head is flying back here. But I love you see. Look at this. His cheek, the cheek muscles, the bottom teeth. Cut his tongue in fucking half, honey. Holy shit. And then there goes his head flying away. And so there's Jim with of course the beautiful Jane, dad ass. Sorry.
Hey.
Well done.
You gotta have
you draw cute butts, Renie.
Thank you.
I
do take pride in that. I take pride in my TNA drawing skills.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say takes one to know one.
Well, yes, you draw great butts too. But...
Yeah, but Renie Strychalski did a beautiful variant cover for us. If you guys don't mind, it's in the chat. Zombie Sama Dorm of the Dead. This book is going to press on the 15th of March. My wife Deborah got the things that the books will be coming in at the end of April, which means we're going to start fulfilling this book in April. Get it done by mid-March. And that's our mantra from going on from now on, that all of our books will pretty much all be complete, or say 80% complete, before we even launch. And just thank you all. Mr. Bancroft, as always, you are brilliant. I not only a fan of your creativity, but I love the things you find, the things you talk about on Twitter and all. And thank you for finally coming on, even though I've asked you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're a patient man for putting up with my my tomfoolery.
I know what it's like. I'm the I do a show, all the time. I know how things can fly under the radar.
Yeah. So let me stop the screen. Mike, you have anything? Michael, do you want? Well, you have a campaign, right? Did I share the campaign in the? Do you have? Is your campaign
Well,
queued up?
I've got a I don't have it queued up. I've got a website now. It's a store now. So but I do have a sign up. It's the Lucent Painted Death. Actually, if you just go to the lucentcomic.com, you'll be able to find everything there now. I've made that, now I'm doing this thing, where it's like you got to have your own website now. So the lucentcomic.com, you can buy copies of this book here, which is the second edition printing of the first book. I'm currently working on the second book. I'm doing the same thing you're doing, Billy. I'm like trying to get as much of this thing done before I launch, so that it can be competitive with the how long it takes to actually get them. That one's called Painted Death. You can sign up for that, and subscribe to me on YouTube.
Excellent. Michael, I got a question to ask you. Being down under, you're in Australia. That's a small country. Is the vast majority of your customers Australian? Or
no. 85% US, and it's fine because it's always cheaper to send into the States than out. Like amazingly cheap. Like it's actually cheaper a lot of the time for me to send stuff to you guys than for you guys to send to Canada or other side of the States or whatever. It is weird like that, but that's how it is.
It's
but
mostly Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's death sending stuff from there to here, but mostly US. Yeah, mostly US. A little bit of Australian, UK. The countries I'm sure that you guys send a lot to as well.
And we have a $2 super chat. First of all, awesome avatar, Evil One. Started my business and will selling CG books. Fuck the world.
Oh, are you?
He didn't say fuck the world, did he, Scott?
I think
for
that's
the
for the win.
For the win.
Hail,
CG books.
Sorry.
No, that's for the win.
Now I'm on my second glass of Scott.
What's the business, Evil One? What's the business?
Are you starting a comic
what's
shop?
the business, Evil One? Post it back in there. We'll talk
for
about
a $200 super chat, you can put the name up. Nah, I'm just kidding.
No.
But you guys are great. Renie, Fiendish. Should I share the Fiendish page? Do you want to share that and see how we're doing? You are kicking ass with Fiendish too, honey.
Yeah, Fiendish 2 is lighting on Indiegogo. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting I had to share, so I have to pull it up somehow. Well, you're waiting for me to
Yes, he banned from Long Island, so Dan, fuck the world.
Awkwardly try to find the page. You guys can go to...
It's Vaughn!
Vaughn's back! No, I will not slow down. Everybody go by Fiendish chapter 2 live right now on Indiegogo. Oh, I'm sharing my screen.
You should speak Chinese real fast, or
I wouldn't be able to understand it any
大
better.
家你好，这是我的漫画 Fiendish， 请大家现在到 Indiegogo 的平台来支持哦。第2集现在还可以支持，所以赶快来。
Really, when you speak Chinese,
I just translated. She said, "Please back my book."
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I said over and over again.
But Renie, you're not speaking Chinese, you're singing Chinese.
No,
you're like singing. Do that again. You're like, like
what?
When you speak Chinese, it's almost like you're singing.
It's very melodic, is what he's saying.
Very melodic, right? Thank you, Mr. Bancroft.
大家来 Indiegogo 支持我的漫画 Fiendish. Does that sound like singing?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the same as before.
It wasn't the
Mandarin?
same the first time you were like going like this, and you were...
Oh, that's just I'm a little silly, and some might say I'm challenged.
Animated.
Is that all I have to do to get 150,000 is just learn Chinese? Right.
Yes. No, that was Mandarin. Yeah, I speak, but I speak Taiwanese Mandarin, which is a little different. Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, there, Mr. Bancroft. So maybe you should.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm 20 years in trying to learn French, and barely getting there. So.
Oh no! Well, I believe in
Chinese might be a stretch.
My goodness, Renie, 157,046. I don't know how my fellow professional Aaron Lepresti feels about this. Because you
I'm
guys were neck
sure
and neck,
he's
and all of
very
a sudden you took off like a
supportive.
rocket ship.
Well, it's also not fair because he got shadow banned, which is very unfortunate. So I will give him a shout out. Everybody go back Wraith of God right now, which is also on Indiegogo. It's you should be able to find a link through his Twitter because again he's shadow banned, and it's unfortunate. But that's why we're building these websites. You guys can also go check out the Fiendshish website. Fortunately, for some reason, Indiegogo hasn't shadow banned me yet, but I'm sure it's a matter of time. But I've had a website for Fiendshish for a really long time because, as you all know, or know if you've watched my channel, because I don't shut up about it. Fiendshish is a fantasy mystery series, and I am really into world building. And I built like a world map and a language for my comic, and I built species and a pantheon. So the website is where you can find out all about that crazy stuff, and you can also have reader preview because I have a free preview on the website. I might be mildly insane, but check this out as well.
You're
I'm a little obsessive.
Yeah.
I might be.
You got to be a little bit insane.
Like,
and I updated the map as well, so everybody go take a look at that. Yay!
Jeez, Renie, how many pages is the book?
Oh, book 2 it's 70 pages, 70 story pages, and I think I have like 14, 15 pages left for the inks. So we're getting really close to the finish line. That's awesome. I'm so happy. And I'm hoping to actually add some supplementals to it if we can get to a higher stretch goal. I mean, this is amazing. 157,000 is no joke, but printing is expensive right now. It's already a 70-page book. So I'm hoping to get to like 190 or something so I can like print. I have like a whole side story and some extra material. But yeah, so please keep sharing. Thank you. Sorry. What are you saying?
Well done. We're all so proud of you. We really are. We're also proud of you, and well deserved, Renie. Seriously, well deserved. Just incredible. Guys, I want to thank you all for joining us on the first Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci, with my friends here, with my family. Can't wait to get some. Ooh, look at that! Got my underlighting on. I want to thank you all for joining us. This was a great conversation. This shit's coming up every week, so we're going to be bringing this on. Renie, I'd love for you to come back. Michael, of course, if it's in the middle of your day, if we don't mess up your day too much, we'd love to have you on. If you don't mind coming on Wednesdays or Thursdays at this time. It was supposed to be an hour, supposed to be 45 minutes, but we all got so heated over this. And again, thank you so much to Chris.
Passionate.
Yeah, for bringing this to our attention.
Can I just shout out about Chris, by the way? If you want to support him, he's actually running the campaign for Mike Barron, the privateamerican.com. And also, Mike has his GoFundMe. I think it's called GoFundMe. Oh, God, I should have remembered this.
It should be on his Twitter. His Twitter is Bloody Red Baron.
Baron Fight. It's GoFundMe.com/Baron Fight if you want to help out with Mike's war chest, because he is actually fighting this. He's doing a he's taking this to the courts
legally.
So. Well, good for him.
He should.
Here's Mike Barron that has written some of the greatest Eisner Award winner,
legend,
multiple Eisner Award winner, who's written some of the greatest comic stories of all time. And this, I can just imagine him. That Mike's, I don't know, is he 70 or something like that?
He's
Can you
close.
imagine?
I think
he's not a spring chicken.
Exploding what's going on right now in the world. He's like, what the fuck is this? He's like a guy who's like from the 60s and all. Remember, whatever happened to that? The 60s radicals and free expression, etc. I guess those hippies came to power, huh? And now they're in power and they're all fucking
yeah.
You must think this is so
Well, I think
insane.
they probably always were. I think they always were commies.
And they just wanted that power. And now they're in power.
Oh,
And this
gosh.
and what's the difference between them and the Politburo? Holy shit. Way to go, Lenin. All right, guys. So thank you all for joining us. We've been talking a long time. You guys are awesome. And I don't know, Scala, talk to us, buddy.
Talk to us about what? What's going on next week?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do we have next week?
I'm launching Zombie Sama next Wednesday.
That's right.
Yep, on Kickstarter. Because that's how we are. We go to the vast extreme. We are
out there.
fan left behind. Some fans like Kickstarter, some fans like Indiegogo. We're all for everything. Old school badassery to deliver you the best darn comics that we can make. And we each person on this panel pours their heart and their souls into their creativity. And they deserve to be followed. So thank you. So every single one of you out there who have watched this show today, I just have one thing to say to you.
have chosen wisely.
Oh, you had.
I did that.
You did it, bro.
All right, guys. Thank you all. Rock on. I think the Jack show's on tonight. Watch them.
I think they're
Check
starting
out,
now.
our channels. Check out, again, support the CGers, man. If people coming after trying to shut them down, follow them all. Take off. Rock and roll.
Bye. Thank you.
Be like Captain America.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, everyone.
Scally, you want to throw the little end thing?
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on PopXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the PopXP and over on Instagram at the PopXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.